کہتے ہیں کسی اور مامتا کیا چیز ہے، کوئی بچوں سے پوچھے جن کی مر جاتی ہے ماں، اپنے غم کو بھول کر روتے ہیں جو شبیر کو، ان کے عشقوں کے لیے جنت سے آ جاتی ہے ماں، مرتے دم بچہ نہ آ پائے اگر پردیس سے، اپنی دونوں پتلیاں چوکھٹ پر رکھ جاتی ہے ماں، نوجوان بیٹا اگر دم توڑ دیا ہوش میں، زندگی بھر سر کو دیواروں سے ٹکراتی ہے ماں، شکریہ ہو ہی نہیں سکتا کبھی ماں کا ادا، مرتے مرتے بھی دعا جینے کی دے جاتی ہے ماں، پر محمد علیہ وسلم
برائے خوشنود شہدائے کربلا بلندتر صلوات۔ Allah request President Islam Maulana Sayyid Hadi Asmi to please address us on this blessed Shab-e Jummah inshallah.
نعرہ صلوات۔
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ۔ اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، الحمد للہ رب العالمین، الصلاة والسلام علی سیدنا و نبینا ابو القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللہم صل علی محمد
وعلى آل بیت الطیبین الطاہرین ولعنۃ الدائمة علیہم اجمعین من الآن الی لقاء یوم الدین۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقهوا قولی۔ All praises are due to Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and His peace and blessings be upon the Prophet of Islam, all prophets and the Prophet of Islam, and his immaculate family, inshaAllah. It's historical time for the whole Ummah of Islam to see a new chapter in Islamic beliefs and ideology when it comes to the time that they destroyed the shrines of the Baqi, the cemetery of Baqi in Medina in Saudi Arabia, by a group of people who had new ideologies and beliefs in Islam. the topic of extremism in the world is not a new topic. The whole world always dealt with this topic of extremism. And unfortunately, the worst type of extremism was the religious extremisms, that people hid themselves behind the religion and ideology and tried to promote their own ideas through that. And it does not belong to any religion or any school of thought. We see that in Christianity, in Judaism, in other religions. Not even religion, the religious people, they had this extremist idea and extremism right there. It's interesting that I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of Islam in the recent centuries, what happened, that we see more extremists come and announce themselves as a Muslim and hurt the whole ummah of Islam and other people as well. We have to know what happened in the history and where these things are coming from. Interesting that before, from the beginning of Islam, the differences were different ideas, different sections, different madhahib we had in Islam. But we have never experienced that one group comes and accuses the other one of blasphemy and shirk. From the beginning of Islam, we know after the demise of the Prophet of Islam, what happened, the issue happened, Shia and Sunni happened and stuff like that. But with all the problems, they never claim that some groups are mushrik and we have to go kill them because of their mushrik. There might be different reasons that they fought with each other. But accuse them because you don't have my beliefs, so you're going to be mushrik. You're going to be, you don't believe in the core beliefs of Islam, so you should be killed. We didn't have this until the origin of that happens at the time of Khawarij, the Kharijites, that they brought this extreme ideas. And in practice, it came all the way to the time of Ibn Taymiyyah. That this guy came and he brought new ideas in Islam, in the Sunni school of thought, that even the scholars, the Sunni scholars that were against him, and they said, it doesn't make sense what you're saying. So you're saying that no one should go to visit the shrine of the prophets or anybody else. That's kufr, that's blasphemy, and you should be killed if you do that. So they put him in prison. We're talking about the community of Shia scholars, right? They put him in prison. Somehow he came out. Because of his ideology, they put him in prison again back, and he died in prison because of his ideas. So he was not accepted in the mainstream, even Sunni scholars and communities. Like, what are you talking about? So you're saying that we have to destroy all the shrines. Any buildings on any shrine should be destroyed. So we don't have to. So if you go to visit the shrine of Rasulullah, you're mushrik. Yeah, they believe in this even today. So you shouldn't go to visit any shrines, right? So they're like, no, we go, we see that, we had this before. We had the qubur of Baqi, the cemetery of Baqi. The shrines were built by who? By Ahlul Sunnah, not Shia, right? Until before they destroyed the shrines of Ahlul Bayt in cemetery. Who built those shrines? Ahlul Sunnah, right? So it comes all the way to this idea that we see that in the 8th century, after Hijri, in Hijri century, that Ibn Taymiyyah comes and he brought this idea. 5 centuries after that, so it went down. He had the students by Ibn Qayyim. He tried to promote his ideology. Ibn Taymiyyah, it didn't work. All the way in 1703 to 1791, which is the time of life of who? Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. But Muhammad ibn Wahhab came and he liked this ideology. He was a scholar, he was a Sunni scholar from Hanbali perspective and the school of thought. He loved this idea and he went above and beyond Ibn Taymiyyah. And he got into the different aspects, political sections, and connection with Al Saud, connection with the Sauds, which were the different tribes. So I'm summarizing a lot here. It's a huge history here. I'm just summarizing so quickly. Inshallah, we can do more research, and later on, inshallah, we can have a workshop about this to see what happened. This extremism, what happened and where they come from. So up until then, you don't see that these groups will kill the other groups because you don't believe in what I believe. You see that the Prophet of Islam, he's living in the Medina with Christians, with Jews, right? And he's in charge of their safety. So whoever is going to attack them, Rasulullah is in charge of their safety. Of course, they're paying their tax and jizya, but he's in charge of that. We have never seen that this happen over there. But we see that when Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab came with his ideas, that first, whoever believed in making anyone the wasita, intercessors, between servants on God and Allah, is mushrik, so we should kill him. That means the whole group of Sunni communities, they're all mushrik except Wahhabism. Because we have a lot of Ahl Sunnah, the majority, that they believe in going to the shrine and visit. So today, all those Ahl Sunnah, they're going to visit the ziyarah, the grave of Rasulullah, the shrine of Rasulullah. They're going for what? They're going to Medina for what? They're going to Medina for the ziyarah of Rasulullah. So according to them, they're all mushrik. So that's why they started killing others, whoever is not Wahhabi, and they're against their ideology. This is history, you can find it in English as well. So whoever doesn't believe in what they believe, so he got connected with who? Al Saud. So now with the power, with the money, with the sword, they can spread out this ideology. It's not that easy. The history says he went through a lot of things back and forth. His own father, he was a very good person. Abdul Wahhab is his father. His name is Muhammad. Abdul Wahhab is his father, Abdul Wahhab bin Sulaiman. His father is a good father, and he were against him. Says, this idea that you have, this is extreme ideas, and this is not okay, this is not Islam. We don't have these things. We don't accuse someone else of blasphemy and kufr just because they don't believe in us, in what we believe in. So the father was against him. Until his father was alive, he was still careful. When the father passed away, he got more power to show himself. His brother became against him as well. Look at this. His brother, they're all Hanbali, right? Became against him to the level that he wrote a book against him. As-Sawa'iq al-Ilahiyya fi Radd ala al-Wahhabiyya. He wrote a book against his brother. He says, you know what, this is extreme. You don't have it in Islam. You shouldn't follow him. Unfortunately, here's about extremism in the whole world. When extremism happens, usually these people try to brainwash and manipulate people through under the flag of something more reasonable. If today someone comes and says, brothers and sisters, let's go hurt someone else. Let's go attack someone else. Like, we're not going to do that, right? If he says, I'm a representative of certain groups, specifically when it comes to religion, there are always some ignorant people to follow them, right? Extremism usually happens under the flag of a religion, right? Protestant, Christians, you know. You see that how many times they killed in the day with Somalia, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So between 5,000 to 30,000 people they were killed because of what? Because they didn't believe in themselves. This is always under the flag of religion that comes and try to justify themselves by brainwashing people. That's what happened exactly here. By having different ideas from Islamic text that it says we are giving the true versions. And that happens 300 years ago, right? That we believe in this thing, so if you don't believe in us, you're what? You're mushrik. You're out of Islam. So that's why they killed a lot of Sunni people, and they attack Karbala as well. Between 5,000 to 7,000 people they killed in Karbala, in Iraq, right? Of course, Shia for sure they're kafir, for sure they're mushrik, right? That's why still today they have issue with Shia. They said some of the fatwa is that, you know, kill 7 Shia and you go to heaven, right? So this ideology, you see that it's not in any Abrahamic religions. The core beliefs in Abrahamic religion is totally against this. We do not have this at all. When it comes to some of the ideas, let me tell you, some of the ideas that they have. Number one, no one should be between you and Allah. You should directly go Allah, ask Allah whatever you want, right? Well, in Quran, the answers. Chapter 4, ayah 64. It says, in the middle of the ayah, فَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ وَاسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمُ الرَّسُولُ. You can go ask Allah for forgiveness or ask the Prophet to ask Allah for forgiveness. So what's going on here? So you ask Allah, so the Quran is promoting shirk as well, right? Or when it comes to the sons of Yaqub, Jacob, right? Quran says they went to their father, whatever they did to Yusuf. They went to who? They went to their father, Jacob, and they told him to please, Ya Abana astaghfir lana. You ask Allah to forgive us. This happened all the time. You go to Jesus, you go to Moses, you go to the Prophet of Islam, you go to someone who is having a high, spiritual situation, you ask them to be the intercessors between you and Allah. And we see that according to them, this is shirk. It's not just no. This is shirk and should be killed. Well, then all of us, we're mushrik, all of us, we're blasphemous. Why? Because every day we go to a mechanic, we go to doctors, we go to some certain people, we ask for help. Right? But you shouldn't ask for help from anyone. You should go directly to Allah. Ya Allah, I'm sick, please heal me. Without any doctor. Ya Allah, my car is having problem, please fix it. Because when you go ask someone else to help you, that's shirk. Shirk means what? Blasphemy. Right? You believe in association with Allah. And if someone else isn't, well, we don't do this all the time. We go ask each other for help. We need each other, right? The other thing they say that shirk or blasphemy is in what? In shafa', intercession. If you ask anyone to ask Allah for anything, so that's shirk. You should not believe in that at all. Chapter 12, 193. اذهبوا بقميصي هذا فألقوه على وجهه أبي يأتي بصيرا. Yusuf said that, you heard about this story. Take my shirt. He was not seeing his man. His father, Jacob, was blind, right? Take my shirt, put it on the eyes of my father. He would have my back. This is pure shirk. You're bringing the shirt, put it in the eyes of someone else. Why are you doing this? Well, Quran is promoting this. You see what I'm saying? Well, we see that it happened, and he got his sight back again, and then the Quran is promoting it as something very important, right? But when it comes to Abdul Wahab, some people came to him and says, look, so he was fighting people, he got the power. So either the tribes, at that time, Saudi Arabia, Peninsula, they were different tribes, right? So either you should believe in us, come to help us. Who are us? Muhammad ibn Wahab, and who? Muhammad al-Saud. Who was Muhammad. So now the power are together. Now you have to help us. You have to be with us, or you're against us, we're going to kill you. And they did. They killed a lot of people in Saudi Arabia. Until they got the what? The power. So the last one who agreed with them was the governor of Mecca. They were not believing in them. So it says, Lord, let us, Wahhabis, to come for the pilgrimage of Hajj. They didn't let them. They didn't even let them to come to do the Hajj. This is your kafir. They put them in prison. Right? We're talking about who? Not Shia. We're talking about Sunni scholars and government in where? In Mecca. Because different cities are different. Medina has its own governor. Mecca has its own governor. So they got the Medina. When they got the Medina, the verdict, the fatwa comes to what? Destroy everything. So the first thing they could destroy, any historical things they destroyed. In Mecca today, you see that any historical buildings, they destroyed it. They said themselves, over reading somewhere, there was a Christian engineer that they came and says, I don't understand why you're destroying the historical buildings. It belongs to the history. You can keep them, you can show it to people. This is the house of your prophet. Why you're destroying it? This is where your prophet was born. You should keep it as somewhere, at least for tourist attraction, you can use them. Right? No, you have to destroy. When they came to Medina, they destroyed where? The shrines of Ahlul Bayt in Baqi. Who are Ahlul Bayt? The direct grandsons of who? The Prophet of Islam. Says, no, we're not talking about the simple people. We're talking about direct grandchildren of Prophet. Imam Hassan, Imam Sallallahu. They destroyed. It was not only for Imams in Baqi. All other ones, the mother of Imam Ali and others, they had the shrines. They destroyed everything. They said nothing should be above the ground. Everything should be in the same level, even. They wanted to destroy the Haram of Rasulullah. The shrine of Rasulullah is low, by the way. Up until the day they want to do it, by the way, I'm going to tell you. They wanted to destroy until they saw the whole Ummah of Islam is against them and they can't do that. They were scared. Recently, one of them, I think that University of Medina, one of their shuyukh, he had a fatwa and verdict that we should destroy the house of the shrine of Rasulullah. This is shirk. This is pure shirk. That no one should go to any shrines because it's against going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where this comes from, Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, to be shocked. Muhammad, they asked him about Rasulullah, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They asked him, tell us about the greatness, the significance of the Prophet of Islam, so how important he is. He says, well, let me tell you, Asai khayrun Muhammad, la'anna asai intafa'a baha walakin Muhammad qad mat. My cane, he had a cane, he says, this cane in my hand is more beneficial to me than Muhammad. Because this is benefiting me, and he's dead, he's not benefiting me. And proudly they're saying it, they're not hiding it. Proudly they're saying, Muhammad is dead, but this, I'm using it, I can rely on this. So you see that that's easier than destroying the house of Rasulullah, right? So, the shrine of Rasulullah. This is the same ideology that they want to do this. Up until the day, one of the shuyukh, he got the verdict that we have to destroy it, and then the whole group of Islam, Muslims, they were against him. And then he changed his own and said, I said we have to do this shirk, but maybe not now. Because nifaq and fitna would happen, it's not the time yet. It's not the time yet. Otherwise they want to destroy the house of Rasulullah. The same reason, the same ideology, the same belief that destroyed the shrines of Ahlul Bayt in Baqi should destroy the house of Rasulullah and should destroy the Haram of Rasulullah as well. Well, we'll tell them that even the first and second caliph, they wanted to be buried next to Rasulullah for the sake of the blessings to be next to Rasulullah. Why do you want to destroy? This is where it comes, this extremism comes from. Where? From the personal ideas. And when it comes to Wahhabism, go read the history that Great Britain, England, was behind the whole things at that time to support Muhammad Abdul Wahhab and Al Saud. So they got to political aspects as well. So they got the power from there as well, because they were looking to colonize the areas, right? And the best way is to bring chaos and issue between the Ummah of Islam. So what is better than doing this? Today we see that ISIS, Taliban, tell me what? Daesh, others, whatever the names. And many will come, believe me. That we don't know about them. It always happened in history, right? You see that the ideas is what? Wahhabis idea. Where it's coming from? I'm talking about some of the, I heard about senators, I was, watching their interview in the Senate, and they were talking about the same thing. It was like, these guys, they all have the same ideology. So where it's coming from, right? So just kill these people because they don't believe in us. One of the survivors, he said, in Daesh, he said he was Shia, he was a truck driver. He said, I went there many years ago. He said, they arrested me and they told me that, are you Shia or Sunni? I was afraid of my life. I said, I'm Sunni. He says, pray 2 rakat salah like Sunni. If you cannot pray like us, we'll kill you. I mean, what is it? In 21st century? It's because he doesn't play the same way. So what it comes is that, this is a new thing. We shouldn't kill Jewish, but we should kill Shia. See, this tafsir, ideas of themselves that they want to bring this ideology, right? Which the mainstream Ahlul Sunnah, they're not like this, let me tell you. In Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Iran, in many places, Shia and Sunni live next to each other, right? They're families. They're together without any problem. Up until the appearance of these groups, there's no problem. Differences, different ideas, it's all there, right? But they never try to kill each other for the sake of your Shia or Sunni or someone else is Christian or Muslim to do this, right? Until this group comes. So when it comes to this, you see that very interesting, that Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he already talked about these people. He already talked about these people. And because of the idea that he had about other religions before him, the extremism that happened in them, look what he says. He says, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْقُلُوفَ فَإِنَّمَا حَلَكَ مَنْ كَانَ قَبْلَكُمْ بِالْقُلُوفِ فِي الدِّينِ. Be careful, don't go so excessive in your religion. Because people before us, other religions, those who were so excessive and extremist in their religion, they went astray, they were perished because of this ideology that they had. Then he says, يَحْرِفُونَ مِنَ الدِّينِ كَمَا يَحْرِفُ السَّهْمُ مِنَ الْوَلِيَّةِ. These extremists in Islam, they will go out of religion, of Islam, as fast as an arrow goes out of bow. In Quran says, very interesting, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. We made you a moderate ummah, a moderate religion, Islam. Amir al-Mu'min said something very interesting. He said, if you want to learn about truth and reality, first go learn about the truth and then find people if they're telling you the truth or not. Don't find the truth based on people. Go find the reality first and then we'll see who is lying, who's telling you the truth. Right? Go learn about the true Islam, then you see this ideology is coming from where? That the mainstream Muslims are against it, right? Then Rasulullah continues and says, يَقْرَؤُونَ الْقُرْآنَ لَا يُجَاوِزُ حَنَاجَرَهُمْ أَوْ تَرَاقِيهِمْ. They recite Quran, they have Quran recitation, but recitation does not pass their through. It doesn't go higher than this. It just stays here, whatever they pronounce. It doesn't benefit them. They recite the Quran and the Quran curses them. So all those people, other religions as well, all those people who kill the other groups, Christian, Jews, other ones, doesn't matter who. Right now, Buddhists are killing Muslims, so in Myanmar, right? So they're doing under the flag of religion, any religion. So are they doing something right? Just hurting another human being for the sake of you don't believe in what I believe? Who gave you the permission to hurt even an animal? Imam Sajjad, he has Risalatul Huquq, the treatise on rights. In the Risalatul Huquq by Imam Sajjad, he's not talking necessarily about the rights of human beings. No, he's talking about 1400 years ago. He's talking about the rights of animals, rights of trees, rights of your neighbors, rights of objects. He's saying at that time, once you're riding a horse, you should not hit this horse. At that time, let alone human being, he has the rights of non-Muslims. It's interesting, inshallah, we're going to have a workshop about this. That they are the amanat of Allah in your city. You shouldn't oppress them. Non-Muslims. We have this as a text in Islam. Then we see that these people comes for the sake of benefits. And it's worth it for them. Look what they have right now. When it's not about taqwa, it's not the fear of Allah, that one day you have to stand before Allah and be responsible for what you did. How many innocent people you killed, you hurt, how many houses you destroyed because of your personal ideas, which is not in Islam. Find one way, and one time that Rasulullah said in Islam, go attack another one because we're going to expand our territory. It's haram in Islam, it's forbidden in Islam to attack another one unless you're defending yourself. In the fiqh and the jurisprudence of Islam, it's haram, it's forbidden to attack another people or another country for the sake of just expanding your territory. You see that some people did it, The only time you can go to war is to defend yourself when they're attacking you. Look at the history of Islam. Anytime that disbelievers, they attacked Muslims, they went to defend themselves. Rasulullah says they are the worst people and the worst of all creatures, this extremist. He's already talking about them at that time. They are the worst of all creatures. That oppression sometimes is about someone comes to your house, steals something from you. Sometimes comes and hurts you personally, physically. Sometimes someone comes and misguides you and your generation. This is worse. The worst type of oppression that mislead the whole generation. Physical harm, somehow you can fix it, right? You can buy another car. But when it comes to misleading people, changing their ideology and beliefs to something that's your personal idea, that's the worst type of oppression. Which these people, they did it. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That is why the Christian event that I told you, Bartholomew's Day, that they killed 5,000 to 30,000 Protestants in 1572. Pope Gregory in the 13th century, just because of a Protestant. Extremism was always there, right? And unfortunately, and they after they did this, they celebrated that they killed all these people. That's the worst things. So what they're doing right now, this ISIS, this extremists in Islam, not only they feel bad, they're celebrating. MashaAllah, you see we're doing this. That's the worst part. Ibn Asad in Karbala, he said, Abshari bil Jannah, go kill Hussein and his family, because I'll give you this good news that you're going to go to heaven if you kill him. 6 months old baby. Then now you see that destroying the shrines of Baqi, it's just a little bit of the things that they're doing, you know. It's way beyond this. Right now, many things that they're not doing is because they're afraid of the reaction of Ummah of Islam. But the same ideology is to as they did in Mecca, you don't want any historical event building anything, anywhere. It's all destroyed. It's all moderns, right? We see that we have a tower way bigger than Kaaba, right? And when you're going to do tawaf, the only thing you see is that, mashallah, that who built this? They took the significance of Kaaba right now, when you go see that what's going on, right? And then the same ideology is about destroying all shrines. The last one that is left, look what happened. They went to Karbala at that time. They destroyed the Zari of Habib, is next to Imam Hussein, right? And they took the roots from the Zari, brought it into the yard, set it in fire, made coffee, and they drank coffee over there with the roots of the Zari. This is the ideology. And we should do this. Didn't the ISIS recently destroy the grave of Hujr ibn Adi, of the greatest companion? And they took him out. They took him out. They opened the grave. Who would do that? Who? You can't even call them human beings, seriously. 1,000 years ago, this guy was killed just because he was one of the companions of Imam Ali. They took him out. His body out. We don't know where he is right now. You see the ideology? Even non-stuff, who you can say that they have these ideas, right? The same ideology, believe me, would happen the same thing to Rasulullah if they can. If they can, they do the same thing to Rasulullah. It's just the Ummah of Islam that is preventing them to do that. So therefore, and we have to be careful as well. This extremism can happen to all of us in different versions. Maybe not to this level, but it can come to us as well. The only way that you can keep yourself pure and away from this extremism and extremist idea is to go with the pure religion. Whatever religion you have. Stay with the text. Make sure what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He said. The same God said, if you want to slaughter an animal, for the sake of eating that animal, a sheep, and a cow, you should mention my name. You should say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. If you don't say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim or the zikr of Allah, you cannot eat it. It's not halal. Why? Because even for killing an animal, you should need my permission. I should let you kill and slaughter that animal. You don't have permission. You cannot even hurt an animal. Let alone a human being, right? Let alone a group of human beings, right? So that's what we see here, that finding the truth, again, not groups, again, not culture, not my nationality and my father and mothers. The true Islam, what Islam is telling us, we want that, and we follow that. Because Islam is rich enough in all these spiritual teachings that we don't need any other personal opinion to come and tell us what we have to do, right? When it comes to Quran, when it comes to our traditions, when it comes to our performances, anything that we're going to do, we have to make sure, inshallah, we're set with Islam, we're set with the ideology that Islam is promoting and Islam wants us to do, not personal ideas. Not that, and it can, like I said, it can happen to all of us. No, I think we have to do this because our fathers did. No, we have to do that. Is it approved by Islam? Is it approved by Marajah? Is it approved by scholars? We have to do it or not? If we say it wasn't in Islam originally, we do it. If not, we're not going to do it, no matter what. And then imagine sometimes you put something simple in your practices, and you practice that something, it's better to do it. How bid'ah happen? Innovation is that you do something little, and you see generation after generation, they're practicing it, and next generation practicing it as Islam. As part of Islam. If you don't do it, you're not Muslim. Comes out, and please, it's not in part of Islam, we just did it for the sake of doing it. No, we have to do it, right? Therefore, inshallah, reading history, learning about these things that happened, what happened, at least the benefit of that is that it gives us, it opens our eyes, inshallah. It gives us better ideology and opinion that what happened in the Ummah of Islam and other religions as well, and what can we do to protect ourselves from any possible issues like this. What can we do that Amir al-Mu'minin as you heard, to Malik Ashtar, it's a great statement that I think they translated in UN and they put it in somewhere they published in UN as well, that people in the world, he's telling to his who? To his governor, he's sending to Egypt. He says, people in the world, they're either your brothers in religion or your equals in humanity. SubhanAllah. You can't just hurt them because of, this is Islam. Rasulullah, the whole of Mom said, look, this is Islam. Then when it comes to your mother, to your father, to your enemies even, you have certain things. Rasulullah, he was in a war with enemies, he says, do not destroy anything. And that was very common at that time. Don't destroy trees. Don't destroy houses of people. Don't set them on fire. Don't attack elders. Don't attack children. The only one you're fighting are who? The soldiers. When? Over 1400 years ago, not today. That the UN is there to check if they can answer. You know. At that time, Rasulullah saying to you, not only, this is the true Islam. This is what we have to find, and that's what we have to practice as Islam is a religion of moderation. Everything is said. Khairul umur awsatuha, the best things. If you pray too much, if it's extreme, you're neglecting your needs or your family's needs, is too much. It's a type of extremism. You see what I'm saying? If you go too much away, working a lot, having your life out of balance, this is extremism. In psychology, living life out of balance is extremism. Either this way or that way. Everything should be, as Islam says, in a nice way, in a balanced way. Rasulullah says, one portion of my life, my day, is for my ibadah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One portion of my day is to take care of the ummah, the needs of my brothers and sisters. One portion is for my family. I need to spend quality time with my family. One portion for myself, personal time. That's exactly what we say in psychology to people. You need one time for yourself, do things, husband and wife, don't be together all the time. You know, sometimes you need to give each other a break. Sometimes you need time for yourself. Sometimes when you are together, have quality time together. When you're eating dinner, please don't, eating and talking or checking the phone and reading newspaper or watching TV, no, that's not quality time. Throw this away, that's the quality time now. Right? We finish. I don't know how many families I see that are getting divorced because of this. Seriously. Because of iPhone. And Android as well. Seriously, I have clients, he said, he comes home, he's just doing his phone. He said, I listen to you. I said, what kind of listening is that? You're busy with someone else, right? That's extremism. This is a type of extremism going on one side. So that's why, inshallah, we have to keep ourselves pure from these things in all aspects of our life by following the true, inshallah, iman and religion and in the deen and Allah and Islam, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajhum. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناس ومد في عمره الشريف وزين الأرض بطول بقائه واجعلنا من عوامه وأنصاره وشيعته يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك يا الله hasten the rule of our Imam Mahdi Ya Allah help our youth make them successful in this world and hereafter Ya Allah Ya Rahman Ya Rahim whoever is in need they have situation, they have problem, they have request. Give them all right and khair, hajat and requests they have. Any people that are sick, they wish to be in this majalis, that are having physical difficulties. Ya Allah, cure them all at this moment. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, those who are hurting innocent people, Islam and Muslimin, purposely send their evil back to themselves. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, those who passed away, they were among us. This marhum that they mentioned his name, Ulama. Ya Allah, inshallah, bless them all. Ya Allah, send a reward and thawab from this message to their soul, inshallah. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلاة.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
Brother Muhammad Mohsen, please, you will say Azan al-Maghribain, the prayers for the call of Maghrib and Isha, inshallah. Salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا وأولاده المعصومين بالحق حجج الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد. Please fill in the gap. आगे आगे बच्चे. पहले आदमी पहले में.
We have a lot of gaps here, you have to fill it out, inshallah. Brothers, come towards your right side, inshallah, so fill out the gaps.